What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. Get this. Eddie Hearn has revealed that he did, in fact, reach out to Deontay Wilder's co-manager, Shelly Finkel, recently, but got no reply. Asked about a potential Anthony Joshua fight, Hearn said that I got so much money for Wilder in an offer, but they never came back to me. Those are the words of Eddie Hearn. Let me counterpunch. I think at this point, it's a cat and mouse game with Shelly Finkel, because we know Shelly Finkel has revealed that he would like a fight with Anthony Joshua, with his fighter Deontay Wilder, win or lose. If Joshua wins or if Joshua loses, okay? And he said that maybe a couple weeks before the big fight, okay, before the Usyk-Joshua 2 rematch. And Eddie Hearn, of course, because this is all in hindsight, because this is actually on the 22nd, right? No, on the 16th. So this was 4 days before that massive fight. So they got no reply, but then yet you had Shelly Finkel talking about a potential fight with Anthony Joshua. Okay, first off, it's like this. Okay, you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on me. In this case, Eddie Hearn's at fault, because he fell for the same promotional BS from Shelly Finkel and Team Wilder as he did before. See, if it wasn't for all the attempts of him trying to make the fight with Deontay Wilder back in 18 and 19, and like the ass end of 17 even. Okay, so it lasted maybe about 2 years. He gave Deontay Wilder, because of the association, because of the accidental promotion, the attempted negotiations, because of that, that spawned a lot of Deontay Wilder promotion. He put Deontay Wilder in a category that he didn't really even deserve to be in. Let's just be real. Deontay Wilder was offered, a deal that everybody else has received. All the other top heavyweights have received deals from networks, like huge deals. And Wilder didn't receive one. I mean, I can't say he didn't receive an offer. He did receive an offer. He just turned it down. And to go in depth on why Wilder turned it down, let me first clear up Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn wants to convince everyone, or to show everyone, look, I like to make, or I want to make the best fights for Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't have even mentioned this if Shelly Finkel didn't show interest in making the fight. Well, Shelly Finkel, now talking about Shelly for a minute, Shelly Finkel is the manager. Okay, Al Heyman is the advisor, but he has the huge ties. He's the big guy over there because he has ties with Fox, Showtime, and PBC. Okay, he has the network backing. Okay, so you must understand that. Shelly Finkel is an older guy that's managed a whole bunch of superstar fighters, and he has experience in it. And I think he genuinely cares for the fighter. However, his limitations are only so far. Meaning, if he said, he spoke interest in making the fight, that doesn't mean to say Al Heyman came right behind him and said, you know what, you need to shut up. This Anthony Joshua business, Anthony Joshua is with DAZN, therefore you're not going to DAZN because you're not going to fight on no platform that I don't own. Bars. Okay, that's how that went. And I have a pretty good idea, because there would be no reason that Shelly Finkel all of a sudden doesn't say anything when he does get a response from the promoter of the guy that you say you want to fight with your own fighter. It makes no sense. Okay, it's either he's playing games, trying to self-promote Deontay Wilder again, like he did back in 18 and 19, which sparked an offer to DAZN. Okay, or he had a gag order. Zip it. You can't say nothing else. Don't talk about that. So if they do, if Matchroom reaches out to you, you know we don't deal with Matchroom. In fact, you shouldn't have said what you said anyway. So that means if you didn't even get a reply, okay, that means that we're not talking serious about it. Now let's talk about Wilder. Back to him. Okay. Wilder said, quote unquote, we're busy. Okay, I've heard that before. That's one of the things that Wilder says to convince Wilder that he's running the show, which he is not. Wilder is not running the show. Wilder is talent. Okay, that's what he is. He's talent. He's not a director. He's not a producer. He's not anything. He's a talent. He's a guy that you see in front of the camera. That's what you see. Okay, he's under the lights. He's not running anything. So for him saying we're busy, that means somebody had to come to him and tell him to say that, or he believes what they tell him, so therefore he promotes what they tell him based on how biased they are or not, or vested interest they are in other hands that are powers that be like PBC, Fox, and Showtime, right? They tell him, look, we're busy for that. We got all kind of stuff lined up for you. But really, Shelly Finkel, I believe, let the cat out of the bag to say, you know what, we do want that fight with Anthony Joshua, and it's time for that fight to happen. Both, my fighter has been beaten. Joshua's been beaten a couple times. So let's make that fight happen, and there's still a lot of money and a lot of interest in that fight. So let's make it while the fight can still be made, while the interest is still there. And I think what happened, Al Heyman came right back around like, no, that's not going to work. I know you mean well, but you're not doing anything because you're not messing up my ties. And you think I'm going to let you take our flagship fighter, our premier marquee fighter on our network over to another platform. You lost your mind. They're going to find you in the back of a Lankin Stankin. Bars. Okay, that's what's going to happen with you if you keep on talking about what you think or what you want or what fights you're trying to create. I make the fights. I have the connections to the networks. The networks are going to work with Deontay because the networks work with me. I don't work with DAZN. I don't work with Eddie Hearn anymore because they've tried that once upon a time, and we all know what happened. If you don't know, I'll leave the link below to explain all that to you. Okay, between Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman. Okay, but them saying we're busy, that's just telling Wilder something to make Wilder rehearse it and regurgitate it and having everybody, hey, we're busy. We're not doing that. Busy doing what? Fighting Robert Helenius? What do you think you're going to do with Robert Helenius besides knock him silly and get paid less money than you would be for someone like Dillian Whyte? Okay, let's just be real. And even if he's fighting Dillian Whyte, I don't think that Wilder would want that. That's if he had a point, but it would be in the same situation, and he would unless Eddie Hearn would allow Dillian Whyte to fight him on Fox PBC. There would be no DAZN. There would be none of that. None of that would be going on at all. So I feel that at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn trying to make a Deontay Wilder fight, I don't think will happen. And it's sad, but the real major reason would be why did Shelly Finkel say what he said? Was it out of strategic attempt or strategy, or was it just naturally his desire to get the best fight for his fighter while his fighter is still around? Because remember, Wilder has decided to come back to the sport, right? Now, the last thing I want to drop on you guys is the deals, okay? The comparison between Wilder, Joshua, and Fury, okay? And this is what I'll tell you, all right? Everyone has been offered a deal, and everyone was smart enough. Everyone was smart enough to take it. Okay, Joshua was, he had an extension with Sky. He started with Sky, and he extended his contract with Sky for millions of dollars. Millions. Tyson Fury did the same. ESPN, right? 5-fight deal, 115 million pounds. Millions. Deontay Wilder was offered the DAZN deal. He was the only one that didn't take it. Why? Because he was told not to. But here's the thing. What he was advised to not take with the DAZN deal, he got nothing in return. I mean, absolutely nothing. See, if you're going to advise someone to not take something, you have to be willing to give them something better. So if he convinced Deontay Wilder that, hey, this is better for you, because he was a free agent in 2019, then that means that you have something else better. And if you're not going to give him that, you have to have one hell of a sweet tongue, seriously, to convince somebody that kind of way. Now, did Deontay Wilder make money? Yeah, he did. Did he make the best choice? No, he didn't. He didn't make the best choice. But the person advising him did not have his best interest. Not for the least. To say that's Mayweather's training money, that's what he said because he knew Deontay Wilder would get pissed off at that because he was messing with his pride side. Because everybody knows Wilder does not care for Floyd. Money Mayweather. And when he said Floyd, in the comparison of him and Floyd and what that little money that Floyd would receive, that's why you shouldn't take it, it drove him mad. Okay? But he did not take that deal. So he's the only fighter that didn't take a huge deal. He should have, if that was the case, Showtime should have offered him a $100 million deal. Then that would have made more sense to stay at Showtime. So he's at Showtime and Joshua and all those other guys were on their own respected platforms. But that didn't happen. He got $10 million to fight on Showtime and then they dropped him after he knocked out Dominique Breazeale. Then he went to Fox PBC. And then we all know what happened there. He knocked out Luis Ortiz again, right, on PBC. And then he went over there and got beat up by Tyson Fury and stopped in the 7th round on Fox PBC. Yeah, that's right. And ESPN, because ESPN was there too. So that was a joint effort. So they came together on that one. And they came together on the trilogy fight as well. But they couldn't do that for DAZN because just DAZN is just on its own. But, I don't know. They could have worked something out probably, but I don't think that's Al Heyman's best intention. I think he wants to work, and I think he wants to do what he wants to do because he does not want to be left powerless in the situation between his flagship fighter and the networks that support his flagship fighter. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn admitting that he reached out to Team Wilder. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.